Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Matters of the Heart. This is your host, M. Renee, and welcome to today's show. Today, we're going to be discussing a very delicate subject, but one that we can all relate to. So, today's topic is where does it all end? And back with me again is my wonderful husband, Mr. J. Diamond. How are you today?
Just fine. How are you doing today?
I can't complain.
No, don't do it.
Yeah. Nobody's listening. I think I've stopped listening to myself a long time ago.
Sometimes you got to complain to yourself.
Well, to yourself is good.
Yeah.
To yourself is good.
You know you're not right. No, okay.
Oh, my goodness. So we're glad to be back here again today to discuss another important subject. And so I'll let you start it off. Again, our topic is where does it all begin? Where does it all end? I'm sorry.
Well, we know where it begins. Where does it all end? Well, when you say where does it all end, I guess that we'll grab a few content, a little content inside of that, because there's so many things that we could ask about. Where does it all end? Let's start with blackface, the blackface thing that's going on around the world today. And my opinion is that some people take things too far. Now, blackface in New Orleans is a tradition that they use for Mardi Gras, which is a costume. It's just a blackface costume. But when you get people that take it past that, take it to the point where they're using it as derogatory or racist, now you've got a problem. Now, I guess it's the same thing as somebody wearing a clown face. You know, nobody's saying anything about the clown. But everybody wants to say something about the blackface. And really and truly, we should be past all of the, I would say, mocking of people and just the racism, period, racism. Mm-hmm. We should be past that. We should be past the point of saying that this is right and that's wrong. To me, it's just a blackface. Now, when you go to putting it on posters with derogatory names, derogatory words,
Right.
with a noose around the neck or different things, now you've gone in a little too deep.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what's happening with America. America has flipped the script and gone back too deep. They've gone deeper into racism than racism itself. You know, they're going further than just the normal racism. And I think I said it before that when you go too far down, the getting back up is harder. The getting out of it is harder. You know, because now we've got so much packed on. We got so much stuff packed on that we got to sort out of. We got this, and that's why I say, where does it end? Where does this all end? Because it seems like no end to it at all, because it seems like it's just beginning all over again.
Right.
So where does it end?
So, two questions. Do you think that we have become too sensitive to, let's just say, the blackface? Because if that's a tradition here in New Orleans, it's just a costume. But what stemmed the blackface as a costume? I believe this particular club is an all-black club. Am I correct?
Well, it used to be an all-black club.
Okay, and so now that it's not, did they then come up with the idea of using blackface as a disguise?
No, blackface has always been there. It's been the Zulu. It was the Zulu face. So blackface is basically the Zulu face. But back in the days, let's go back a little further. Back in the days, vaudeville was using blackface because they didn't want to hire black actors.
Right.
So they used white actors in blackface, which became popular in that era.
Mm-hmm.
But now I feel to believe that it has now come forward where you don't need blackface because you got black actors.
Right.
So why would you use blackface? And you know, I go in this part, taking this stand on it, is that I feel to believe that the racist movies that they make, the movies that they make where they have the word nigger in it and blackface and all these things shouldn't be these. If you want to change a world, change the content of what the world sees. You can't change the world by showing them all the stuff that was before, bringing it forward. You're never changing. You're just bringing something forward. You're bringing it forward, and now the ones who are now here don't understand how it became. So some of them take it and I would say, they build it up too much to be too much. You know, we should be past the word nigger. We should be past the blackface, the vaudeville face. We should be past all these things. But seem like the more time goes, the more we get engulfed in this stuff.
Right. So, in other words, it seems like history is repeating itself.
It's repeating itself, but no, history is remaking itself into something bigger.
So it gets
worse
as it goes along.
It gets worse as it goes along, because now we have, like from the start of, I forgot how many years it's been now, but from the start of Trayvon Martin, the killing of Trayvon Martin started an epidemic of just constantly killing black people, unarmed black people, just kill. Like, one picked it up, and the other one said, well, let me do it over here, let me do it. Oh, we getting away with it, let me do it. It started something worse. Instead of it being nipped in the bud, where this person killed an innocent, unarmed black kid, he should have gone to jail.
I agree.
But white America now showing their face. They're not showing the black face, they're showing their face. They're showing their face of saying, we can get away with whatever we want to get away with.
Well, white America has been showing their face from the beginning of time. So it should not come as a surprise to us when we find these types of things going on. However, I don't even think that the outcry should be so much focused on, okay, you got the white man killing an unarmed black boy or a black man. I think the outcry should be, hey, we got black on black crime going on at high rates, high numbers. Why don't we focus on that? Because again, we were having a prior conversation is saying they're only able to do what we allow them to get away with. And then in some senses, you know, I believe we have become so sensitive to a word that somebody began using way back in the early day. We've gotten stuck on that word. And then within ourselves, we have no problem with calling each other that same word. We have no problem with using it. But we become offended when someone else uses it. We should be offended all the way around, across the board.
I agree. We should be offended. But we get to the point where we become so, how would I say, used to it becoming a culture. It has become a cultural word. My nigga they have even put it to the fact of saying it's a term of endearment. That is not a term of endearment. You calling me a nigga? Calling me your nigga? That's so like right. Calling me your slave. Nigga, in my analogy, nigga means slave. It just means that you're my slave. You're my nigga. You're the nigga that plows my field, that picks my cotton, that cleans my house. You're my nigga. You're my property. So why is it that we now want to take it as a term of endearment? We get mad when another color, another race of people call us niggers. Or call us niggas. However you want. I know people want to separate it, but it's still the same thing. But we want to get mad when they call us that. But we don't get mad when we call each other that. That's like somebody calling, a man calling a woman a B. But then somebody calls his wife, his woman a B. He wants to get mad, but you called her a B. So it's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. We've got to stop being stuck on stupid, which is my favorite thing to say, stuck on stupid, because that's where they're stuck on stupid, thinking that it's all right on the left side, but it's wrong on the right side. It's right on the left side, but it's wrong on the right side.
Well, wrong is wrong, no matter how you look at it, no matter how you try to dress it up and make it seem like. And my thing is, we as black people, we take some of the craziest things to try to make it into a cultural thing and expect everybody to be good with it. But I say, you know, let's turn this thing around. You know, people can call you a whole bunch of things. They can call you a whole bunch of names, but it's not what they call you. It's what you answer to.
And a lot of them are answering to it.
So if we change that cycle and become people, if we become a people, a culture known for, the positive things, then we can drown out all of that negative stuff, then at some point it wouldn't even bother us. It might even get to the point where we can just laugh it off because it's the ignorance of people. They speak in ignorance. That's what I'm trying to.
Well, I think that as you're talking, I'm thinking that what's separating us as a people is our ignorance and our lack of knowledge and lack of understanding of what it does to us as a people when we side with the other side, not knowing that we're siding with the other side, if that makes any sense. We're siding with the other side. We've decided to take sides with the enemy.
Right.
So what we need to do is, it's just like this. It's like nobody wants instructions. Nobody wants corrections. Nobody wants you to tell them anything about what they're doing.
Right.
So now you tell somebody call you a nigga, you say, man, don't call me that. Call me brother, call me my bro or whatever you said. But don't call me a nigga. And then they get, oh, nigga, you da-da-da. And now we've got a problem. And it's the same thing like the kids today don't want instructions. Kids don't want nobody that we've got a new flow of children going that don't want nobody. You tell them something, they do just the opposite of what you told them not to do.
Right.
And it's sad because if the police come up and tell them, now they're doing it. You tell them, boy, don't cross in the middle of the street, go to the corner. Oh, you don't tell me what to do. And the police, woo! Go, get out the corner and don't
right.
cross. Oh, yes, sir, yes, sir. You see?
So is there is a cultural defect.
Yeah, there you go.
Because we are not teaching our kids, and I won't say everybody, but we're not teaching our kids that you respect your people. You respect the elders of your community. It really, you respect those who are in authority. It has nothing to do with the white man, but they've been scared into the fact of now you got to obey the white man. You got to respect the white man because they hold a badge, because they have a gun. And with the recent increase of, killings of the black people, then now they've been taught to be scared. So it's not really a respect thing. It's they're scared into respecting these people.
Well, the thing is, fear is a great teacher. And sometimes the fear of authority needs to be put in a child, not just from the authority of the law, but the authority of parents, of elders, need to be put into children. And once you get that into children, you can now raise up a new generation of people who become respectful and become leaders in a sense of knowing how to respect themselves and respect their elders, respect others. Now, you got children running around. You tell them, don't wear your pants hanging low. And look like the more you tell them, the lower their pants go. But now they're allowing them to come to school with their pants hanging down. You're allowing them to go in the store with their pants. So how is a parent going to parent a child that society is allowing them to do whatever they want to do? And if you tell them something now, they can go to court against you. It's crazy. The child can go to court against their parents for trying to train the child. So now the system has taken over the training of the child, training the child to be whatever they want to be, because we need you to be this way. We need you to be a nigger. We need you to be dumb and ignorant. We need you to be uneducated. We need you to be smoking weed. We need you to be high.
Right. Well, we know that side of it, but why is it that we as a people, as a culture, don't have a system?
Because we are scared of the system. We don't have a system because we are afraid of the system. We are afraid to come together as a unit, to come together as one. Black people will not come together as one. And I'll tell you, I have a formula for this. The formula is, it takes a little bit of money to build up a great thing. It's just a formula. If each person bring in $1,
Right.
put this dollar in place to build something that will be a training center for children, to be a place where children can go and become something, because that's all the children want. The children want to become a part of something. The children want to belong to something. And I think that's a lot of times why they get in these gangs, because they want to belong to something.
Right.
I think a lot of times they get into these secret societies because they want to belong to something. And it's almost like being on a football team. You know, they belong to something. They're a part of something. Everybody needs to be a part of something. So why can't we all be a part of the same crowd, the same, I would say, the same group of people who we're not allowing this to happen. We're not going to allow this to happen. We are going to stop it. Where does it end? It ends here. It ends right now with us. That's where it ends.
Exactly.
It ends with us. It does not end. We cannot, we cannot look for the other man to start a Black Lives Matter movement. We can't look for the other man to start a parenting movement, or each one reach one movement, or anything of that sort. It's us. It starts with us. It ends with us. Because theoretically, what they're looking at is, why should we take care of your people when you're not taking care of your people? You're not taking care of yourselves.
Exactly.
A lot of people are making money or getting money, but they spend their money with the other man.
And
they spend their money with other people. And then them other people take your money and call you a nigga.
Exactly. That's another subject, but just to touch on it right quick, I think it's sad as a culture that we don't support one another. We'll quickly go and spend $400 or $500 on some Gucci, on some Michael Kors or whatever. Whatever the case may be, those high name brand items for people who we know, who say without hesitant that they don't like black people, but we yet shelling money and making them richer when our communities are run down. You know, we don't have our own grocery stores. We don't have our own banks. We don't have our own clothing stores, our malls, or a lot of black owned businesses, because we don't see the big picture.
Now that you say that, now that you've crossed that line, let me cross this line with you for a moment. One of the main reasons why black people don't have businesses because they don't take the time to learn how to properly run a business. All they do, they see somebody's got a business, they want to start the business, not to enhance the business but to be a competition. They just want to start the business to say that I can start one too. And now you fail. This one, everybody fails because everybody's nibbling off of the little bit. And what they're doing is, not only are they nibbling off the little bit, they're ruining the business. Not for say the business itself, but they ruin the black perspective of the business. Like a carpenter over here, he becomes a carpenter. He's a real good carpenter. But here comes a shade tree that starts itself a carpentry business that says I can get the job done. But he doesn't have the wherewithal. He doesn't have the stick-to-itiveness to stick to the job and finish it, because he wants to get this money and then he runs to the next one. Now he didn't saturate because he's so busy trying to compete and get all the jobs. When this man here is a professional, he gets this job, he finishes this job to move to the next. So what each person should do is start a job and finish the job to get to the next job. There's enough jobs for everybody. But one man wants to suck up all the jobs, and now he can't get them finished because he done pulled himself too many different places. So that's what's happening with the black race on business, is that we don't have a stick-to-itiveness, and we don't have the knowledge of business, and also They take their money, they put it in their pocket, they go have a party with it, they drink, they go buy a nice truck or whatever the case may be, and they don't take care of the business. There's no money in the pot for the business. There's no money to pay taxes. There's no money to pay employees. Mm. So now you've got another problem. Mm-hmm. So that's the reason why it's important that you get an understanding of what it is you're doing.
So how is it that we've been stigmatized when it comes to black businesses? Now, I know you say a lot of times, like with the carpenters, they don't finish the job. The contractors, they get jobs and they run to the next or whatever. But for the same person of a different color, we both went to school, we both have degrees, but yet and still, it's like I have to prove myself that I'm worthy for you to come and do business with me and charge you the price that I'm charging you. Whereas you go to the other man and he tells you this is my price. And what you going to do? You're going to flip your money out and you're going to pay that price. You're not going to say, oh man, I can't get a discount. You're not going to do that. So why do we do that to each other? I work just as hard as the next person. Well,
there's where we have the word of mouth and the cultural thing. The cultural thing comes in that the white man always do a better job. That's the stigma. The stigma is in the black man's mind that the white man is always right. And I don't want to say white man because sometimes they're Mexicans. They just say that the other man is always right. The other man does, because you know what happened the last time you got a nigga to do your job. See, that's where it comes from. You know what happened the last time you got a nigga to do. Now, here's the problem I have. This is a serious problem. Mm-hmm. The white man, number one, messed up your job. You didn't call him back. You didn't tell him nothing. You went and got white man number two to finish the job. Okay? Now, black man number one did something wrong on your job. He just messed up a little bit. You talked bad about him. You never don't want to do him again. You went to white man number one to finish the job. You didn't go to black man number two and say, come finish this job. Exactly. Or you didn't give black man number one a chance to correct the job because it was just a small... And here's another thing that happens with the black race is that we get to the point, and this is going back to the nigger thing. Mm-hmm. We go to the point of saying, them niggas ain't never gonna do nothing right. Well, I agree. Niggas ain't gonna do nothing right. But what about an educated black man?
Exactly. Does he fall in that same category?
No, he shouldn't fall in that same category.
But he do.
He does because of ignorance. The word nigger should be just what it is, ignorance. It's an ignorant word for ignorant people. Mm-hmm. Now, you use that word if you see somebody sitting down on the corner, don't want to do nothing. You offer him a job, he don't want to take it. White, black, purple, no matter what color he is, he's a nigger. He's a negative. But if you got somebody who's wanting to do something, who can do the job, he's got all the credentials. He shows you all his paper. The white man don't even show you paperwork. He just tell you, hey man, I do this. You do that? Oh, give me your card. Yeah, that's all I need. I got your card. Come do this work. Oh, you need half the money? Let me give you half the money.
Exactly.
You see? But the black man, you want paperwork. You want his LLC, his incorporation paper. You want his insurance paper. Mm-hmm. You want to know what he's doing. You want to stand over him. You want to stand over him to watch him work. Mm-hmm. White man, you give him the key. Take the key and I'll be home later. See, there's a problem.
Exactly.
There's a problem. So we have to get to the point, first of all, check the credentials of everybody. If you're going to be a person that's doing this, do it right. Check everybody's credentials. If you decide to go with somebody white, that's fine. Check their credentials. Right. If you decide to go with somebody black, that's fine. Check their credentials. If they got all credentials, cool. Then make sure that you are not putting all your money in the basket. You pay them just like everybody else. You do a little work, you pay a little work. You do a little work, you get paid for a little work. Don't give them all the money and then think they're going to... Because some of these people out here, their main job is to get paid.
That's it.
Not to do the work, but to get paid. You know. And that way, that ends it all. Mm-hmm. That's where it ends. It starts with us, it ends with us. We have to be smarter in what we're doing. We have to be smarter in what we're saying and how we're saying it and how we're pursuing things that we're doing. You know, on the thing of blackface, I feel to believe that blackface, it should stay as a costume. Blackface should not be recognized as somebody's doing something derogatory, like say the governor of whatever state it was in. He had the blackface when he was young. That's something he did when he was young. But it was just a costume.
True as that may be, but let me go here with it. So these big companies took the opportunity to capitalize off of that.
That's ignorance.
It is ignorance. But why didn't we think of the idea?
Well,
okay, so y'all wanna make money off of us? How about we make some money off of us?
Well, once again, there you go. That's what the white man is allowed to take something and utilize it and make money off of it, and we can't. It's the same thing all the way around.
We can,
it's
but we missed opportunities.
Because we too busy competing against one another instead of working with one another. If we work with one another, now, if this blackface thing came out and they quickly jump on it and copyright it, and see, because that's all it's about. It's about whoever copyrights it first can run with it. They got white people sitting down on the corner waiting to be able to copyright whatever you're doing. That's a whole nother subject, copywriting. Wow. That's a whole nother subject. Wow. Just copywriting, having the right to copy it.
Yeah.
Having the right to copy it. So in the midst of all that we're looking at in the world today, we look at our people as a whole. We are not standing up together.
I agree.
We're standing up at different times. We're not standing up together and being complete in ourselves. We're not being a complete unit. In fact, we're not putting our money where our mouths are. We're having a lot of conversation, but there's no actions inside of our conversations. I could go to somebody today and say, man, all I need is $1 a month. That's $12 to fund this little thing. I just need you to give me $12 and that'll be for the year. Next year, I'll come to you for another $12. What you going to do with the money? Here's my plan. Here's everything I'm going to put together. Or what I'm going to get out of it. Now, a white man come up, hey, we got this thing for the little children, da-da-da-da-da, and we need you to give us $24.49.95. Well, shoot, where I sign up at? Well, I'll give you $50. You see what I'm saying? We've got to, even if it's not right, we got to get ourselves in motion of doing it right.
Exactly.
There's a guy who he goes around and he gives away the jumpsuits, the YP on it. And all he's saying is, if you see one of these kids out here selling something, buy something from him. Even if you don't need it, buy something from him to help them to understand that there's more out here than hustling on the streets, stealing, robbing and stealing and killing.
Right. Well, the one thing that we failed at is supporting our communities. We support everybody but ourselves. And so we asked the question today, where does it end? I think it ends with where we are right now. It starts with us making the change, making the necessary adjustments in our communities, within our culture, in order for it to come to an end. And even if it doesn't come to an end, we can minimize the effects that it have on us. When we know that as a culture, we're doing everything we can to move forward, and to move forward in a positive way,
right?
Regardless of all the negative stuff that may come up, regardless of blackface. And then we need to learn how to support each other, because as black business owners, you can't get mad at the next man when they don't come and support your business, because you're not supporting them. Right. So we have to come together on this at some point. And what better time than now?
I agree with you wholeheartedly. What better time than now? We got to come back on this subject and put a good caption on how to make it end, how to end it, giving ideas and giving some some good formulas for making this thing work, because I truly believe it can work. The time is now, like you said, and we can make it work by going past the conversation, going past the question of where does it end, and saying it ends now. Here's how it ends. This is the end. This is the way we gonna end this thing. Now, you're not gonna catch all the fish in the pond,
Right.
but you're gonna catch enough of them to make a
To
difference.
make a difference. That's it.
That's all it is.
That's what it's all
That's
about.
all it's about.
Wow. What a great conversation today. Thank you so much for tuning in to Matters of the Heart. Today's topic, where does it end? Thank you so much, Jay Diamond, for being on with me again
Oh,
today.
no problem. No problem.
Such a great topic. We had a great discussion. So for those of you that are listening, make sure that you are following IMN Radio on Spreaker. Follow Matters of the Heart so that you'll be notified when we do our next broadcast, which will be live. So you get a chance to, chat with us and ask questions and give your response during the broadcast as well. So until next time, be blessed, and we'll see you soon.